Hey, Warriors, and welcome to week 2 in the holiday session of Warriors United. This webinar is called Recruiting from the Heart. And I feel and believe that our company has a huge, kind, and beautiful, loving heart. It's evident in the way we take care of our own, in the beautiful friendships that this company has facilitated, and the love that we have for our mission of changing lives for the better. You know, we do it through our empowering sex-positive message, of course. We also do it through sharing the gift that this business is. And I could list hundreds and hundreds of personal transformations and financial goals achieved by Goddesses and Adoni since I started Athena's 20 years ago. I mean, Goddesses and Adoni have done it all. New cars, new boobs, new homes, college educations, in vitro, pools, weddings, new kitchens, new rugs, new furniture, vacations, designer handbags. Yes, I'm talking to you, Jody, campers, boats, wedding rings, cat cons, medical bills, pets, cute little pugs, karate lessons, dance costumes, chair camps, debt reduction, divorce lawyers, and shoes. Lots of shoes. If you're a veteran, goddess or Adonis, you know what I'm talking about. You've witnessed it all as you've walked this path with me. If you're new, something spoke to you, and here you are, plugging in to learn more about this profession. And that's smart to do because there's a lot to learn. And whether you're a veteran or new, there is still a lot to learn. We learn from each other, and what a gift that is as well. So here's your first code word. It's share, S-H-A-R-E. Your first code word is share. And with that, let the sharing begin. Sarah Miller has been a goddess since 2014, and I have had the privilege of spending a lot of quality time with Sarah Miller. I attend her Now events that are filled with heartfelt why stories from herself and her team members. She has this natural ability to bring out the best in others. And I've watched and cheered her on, like many of you have, as she's achieved accolades like the #1 recruiter of the month. I'll never forget Chrissy Shed bowing down to Sarah, taking a big picture and holding up that #1 for Sarah. Then there was the time that her team took top 10 for the first time. She has become a friend to many Goddesses and Adoni, and she is a light in this company. At Golden Circle, her team member, Vicki Miles, honored her with a letter. In it, Vicki expressed how meeting Sarah at a party changed her life dramatically. It helped her become more confident in the bedroom for the first time in her life. And that newfound confidence made Vicki realize that she could do for other women what Sarah had done for her. And that is what we're here to talk about, making people feel that way. I mean, the commission structure, to recruit salute incentives, chances to win, trips and jewelry and Mexico money, all incredible. But changing a life, helping individuals like Vicki is why we're here. It gives me such joy to introduce to you the team leader of the bold and the beautiful, Sarah Miller. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Jen. This is awesome. And you totally you're up.
Oh, my friend. When I look at you, when you're up there at your Now events, I think to myself, she is doing something that she loves. And, what's been cool about your Now events is that, they've evolved over the years from this small, gathering to larger groups. And then this year, your own team members doing their own Now events. It must make you so proud.
So crazy. Yes, it's so hard to even describe what that feels like. It's incredible.
So Sarah, can you tell me what you saw in this business that attracted you? Because you're a nurse, you're a professional, and I think that there's a belief that people like you who have really good jobs would never even want a side business like Athena's.
Well, it's funny you say that because honestly, I feel like I joined on a whim, but after really exploring, I joined within 3 days from the party that I went to. But when I break that down and look at actually what happened, I'd love to share that with you. I think it was a little bit more than just a whim. So I'll never forget this as long as I live. I was on vacation with my in-laws. Yes, ex-in-laws at this point. But needless to say, it was a exhausting trip, and I had a 1-year-old at the time. So I remember like looking forward to the end of the trip so that I could get home and go to this Athena's toy party with Olivia and my coworkers. And we had an incredible time. We did a lot of laughing. I'd never been to a toy party before. And so my coworkers, it was a bunch of nurses and secretaries, and I think some pharmacy people were there. And we giggled about like wearing Kegel balls to work and what would happen if they rolled out in front of the really hot doctor that just started. So we had a lot of laughing and good time away from the kids and the in-laws. Absolutely. And this was in the summertime. So we got back to work. We were joking about the Kegel balls, and no joke, my friend Mandy said, yeah, I'm wearing them right now. We're like, no, you're not really doing that. I was working night shift at the time, so in laughing about the party and talking about how many hostess credits she got to spend, my wheels started turning, and we fortunately weren't very busy that night. So I did a little online search and discovered how much money Olivia Lee makes. And I was like, so now my business mind is working and thinking to myself, like, okay, you know, the worst that's going to happen is I'm going to have some discounted or free products, right? But the best thing, who knows, maybe I could get off this night shift that I hate so much. Maybe I could cut back at work. Little did I know, 3 years later, I could be home with my babies full time. Like that, I didn't really think that one through, but absolutely, literally pays more than a nursing job, definitely less stress. And I enjoyed doing it more. I think with nursing, there's a lot of like education and helping people, which is why most people go into nursing. But I found working in a busy ER that I wasn't able to do that as much as I wanted to. And I found as I started doing parties that I was actually doing that more with my party guests than I ever had time to in the ER. So I was fulfilled and feeling like I was making a difference. Just like Jen, you said with Vicki Miles, you know, little did I know that I can literally make a difference for people at my parties as well. And for someone that's afraid to talk about sex, even with their partner, like that's incredible that she, you know, had this experience and started to come out of her shell, and now she's kicking ass as a goddess. Like that, it's amazing to see, and it's amazing to be a part of.
Oh, wow. Sarah, it's fabulous what you've been able to do. And there's two things that you said that I wrote down as you were talking that I think all Goddesses and Adoni should hear and take away as well. That number one, you, even as a professional person, a nurse, was still looking for something more, and your business brain turned on when it came to this business and said, I can make extra money, get off the night shift. So remember, Goddesses and Adoni that are watching, don't get intimidated by professional people. They are looking for us too. And the other thing that you said was that you stalked Olivia on Facebook. You went and found her, and you saw that she was making great money. So remember, Goddesses and Adoni, share the good in this business with your social media circles, because people are watching. People are going to find you and see, you know, what you're up to. So, you know, post positives, don't post negatives on your Facebook if you can avoid it. You know, post about your success because people are watching. So Sarah, why? So I love that you shared your story. Why do you recruit?
So can I just add something really quick about that? Yeah. A really good point that I meant to mention, that the social media piece is huge. So yes, I stalked Olivia. I discovered, you know, how much she makes. I remember clearly the YouTube video of her winning the $10,000 treasure box. Instantly, that image in my head, I'm like, that could be me too. And I remember also seeing a post saying, congratulations, Olivia, on your $2,500 party, like the next day after our party. So I just want to mention every single person at that party had things on their wish list. And so for my launch party right after that, they all bought a few more things, and I had a $1,500 launch party on that. So nurses are big spenders too. So that's a good thing to just remember as well.
That's really powerful stuff right there. I mean, the fact that, the nurses all came to the party that you attended and you were able to take that. I mean, so she had a $2,500 party with the nurses and you were able to take those same women and have a $1,500 party. That's just, I mean, wow. So, I like that part. I like that you were able to take that success and run with it right away. I think that you saw the big picture almost immediately, which is also, wow, that's big.
Thank you.
So why did you recruit, Sarah? Tell me why you decided to recruit yourself. Like, why did you decide to become a team leader?
So I never in a million years saw myself in sales, ever. Like, I was the person that hated going to car salesman places, and because they'd attack you. Hated sales. And I fell in love with the business. I fell in love with the product. I fell in love with everything, Jen, that you have built, that you stand behind. And I stand behind the products that we show and the business and all of that. So for me, right from the get-go, it's been really easy. I'm not selling a lie. I'm not selling something that I don't believe in. I'm literally selling the products and the experience that means so much to me. So for example, how many of you get goosebumps whenever you're talking about Athena's or something Athena's has done for you or your why story? For me, I get goosebumps all the time, and I was never one to ever get goosebumps. So I'm literally talking about it at my party, and I get this all over body chill, and I make a big deal about it when it happens, because to me, that's so meaningful. That's something from your core that's like really affecting you, and that I'm literally getting them right now talking about it. I just feel like in those moments, when you feel that feel-good moment, you should share it with everybody. And so that's what I try to like show at the parties, show at the Now events, like that last Now event, Jen. I literally started it saying, let's talk about Athena's Purple Kool-Aid, because I want to show you what that is through all of these people talking and getting that feel. And that, to me, is why I recruit. People need us. People absolutely need us. People might be missing something in their lives. People might be going through a divorce or going through something in their lives that's making them feel like absolute crap. And Athena's in so many ways has built me up and has expanded my support network and saved my life in many, many ways. So for me, when I recruit, I feel like I owe it to these people, if they're having a hard time or if they are struggling financially, to give them a solution to be able to get back on track or to be a part of this family. So that's really why I recruit. I feel like people need us in their lives, whether that be one way or the other, however it works for them. And I think that's really, really important, because it's not about, I think you're going to be a good goddess or Adonis. It's here's what Athena's has done for me, trying to help them see what it could do for them too, because every story is different.
That's the truth. That is the truth. I mean, this business has attracted so many different types of people. And, I love that you said that you never saw yourself as a salesperson. Chrissy Shedd says that all the time, that she absolutely hated salespeople, would never want to become a salesperson. And look at what she's accomplished. It all comes down to your belief. If you believe that the products change lives for the better, and you feel passionate about making the world a better place and sex education, then you'll make it happen. You'll do the parties, you'll sell the products. And if you feel just as passionate about the business itself and what the business does for people, people gaining confidence, people coming out of their shell, people filling a void that they have, making friends, making money. I mean, it's if you believe that, you'll recruit, because I've always said that recruiting is the unselfish act of offering this business. People who say, oh gosh, I don't want to ask anybody because I'll be pushy. Like, that's being selfish. You're only thinking about yourself, your own fear of hearing no and being rejected. The unselfish part is when you offer the business and there's somebody sitting there in that audience who needs it. So share it. And I know, Sarah, you put together your top 3 recruiting tips, because there are new people who they don't know how to recruit. So I know that you know how, because you do it so well. And I know that there are veterans who might be in need of a little boost and something refreshing, or maybe the way you say it will resonate with them for the first time in a long time. You know, they'll hear the message differently. So Sarah, what are your top 3 recruiting tips for the Goddesses and Adoni of Athenas?
Well, it's so funny that you asked me this, Jen, because I really, up until this point, I hadn't really thought through that much. Like, I participated in all of the WOW and work calls, and I've listened, and I just do what I do. And so I never really thought that there was an equation. But I do find that the 3 things that have worked really well for me are things that I've heard from other calls. And number 1 is to listen to people. I might have an incentive that I'm going for to recruit salute, or maybe top recruiter for the month, or whatever that may be. But the most important thing is to listen to them, put it in their hands. It cannot be driven by my need to get number 1. And I find when I get to that point, I step back a little bit. I'm like, okay, Sarah, stop. It's not about me. It's about them. So listening to them, whether that be at a party, or out at a restaurant, or a server, or a bartender, Facebook posts, all of those things, people drop little signs like, I don't have any money. I see that a lot on Facebook. Or I'm looking for a job. Or struggling with their identity, or need for self-care. I've recruited a lot of people recently who are really, really focused on self-care. And hello, that's exactly what I am also working on. It's about empowering ourselves. And don't be afraid to ask questions. So like what they do for work, or do they need to make more money, or, you know, are they looking for more friends, or things like that. So listen to those green flags, those little flags that come up, and pursue that. And I've heard lots and lots of times, let people talk about themselves, right? Keohoho. That's right.
You got it. Nikki Keohoho.
She says that all the time. They get more out of a conversation when they do the talking. So if you need to help facilitate that conversation, do that. So number 1, listen. Relate is number 2. So now you've listened to what they've had to say, or what's going on in their lives. Relate to them, but still keep the conversation about them. So if for some reason they're a nurse, for me, that's something that, you know, I can mention about my own past, but I'm not going to talk their ear off about my nursing career, because that's just a piece that I want to relate to them about. And then if they want to talk about it, great. But I can also relate how nurses make really good goddesses. Right, Katie Mahoney? And I think that's partly because we're comfortable talking about our bodies and educating and all that, but find something that you can relate to them about. If they're having trouble in their relationship, if they have kids and you have kids, you can, talk about that. So I go back like my whole life. I've done a bunch of different things throughout my life. And I find that in most conversations, I can find at least one thing that I can relate. If I can't find anything, compliment them on their sweater, and instantly you are relating to them. Tell them how much you like that color. I used to do that in nursing, actually, with angry ER patients. And just that one little statement, compliment, helps to smooth everything over a little bit. It's a more comfortable conversation, and they like you. So number 2 is relate, and then number 3 is help them visualize. So they might see you having lots of success with Athenas, and they may think I could never do that. But instead, you could kind of help put into perspective how they could do that, visualize. For example, the Skin Solution Botanical Butter, how many of you sell that because you've seen pictures of the eczema? Thomas Atwell, other people, literally, I went back to WOW to look at some of the pictures. There are so many posts about the product changing people's skin and clearing it up, and that will always stick with me. So I try to put something into a visual example for them as far as what Athenas can do for them as a business. So I think that that's really, really important. So let's just recap: listen to people, relate to them, and then help them visualize. Those are the three things that I like to focus on. Robin, your why bag, that was so helpful for me because I'm a visual person. I always struggled in school with just the audio. When I can see what the business is doing for somebody, it's like a light bulb moment. It just is so, so helpful. So help them to visualize their success or their why story. And then I think that will help with the recruiting piece.
Perfect. That was very simple and easy. I mean, listening's big because people are going to give you clues the more you let them talk about what they're looking to achieve in this business, or for their lives. There's a lot of people out there who are looking for something more. That's a big piece, just listening. And I love that you've learned through others, by Robin sharing about the Y bag, you were able to make a Y bag that works for you. It's creating a visual is really smart. So I love that you've learned these things and applied them to your business. And now here you are to share with everyone else, to show them what it looks like to learn something, apply it, and then see the results from it. And you have, Sarah, you built the Bold and Beautiful into such a powerhouse team. And I'm so proud of you for that. So proud. Because it doesn't just come naturally. I mean, when you join a direct sales company, you have to learn how to do things. So, thanks for being a learner and now a teacher. So one of the things I know people struggle with is about sealing the deal, like what can be said or done to get people to a yes. So what are your best practices in that area? After you've listened to them and you've helped them, you've related to them, you've helped them visualize, the next step is, yes or no. So what do you do?
Well, absolutely. And there are some people that will forever be a lead, or not forever, but years and years until they are ready. And you just have to accept that piece. But I think there are a lot of other people that just need some time or need some things to change in their life. And I think most importantly, it's important to check in with them every so often, just to see if they're ready yet, if the time has come. But sometimes people need a little bit of a push. And I don't mean like I'll buy this for you so you can join. I think that is the worst thing you can do, because if people aren't willing to put $30 down, then they're not ready to take the opportunity and use it as a challenge, right? They're going to just spiral and not do anything with their business. So don't ever pay for someone's starter pack. So, but I do like to do some challenges, because I feel like sometimes it's nice to offer some assistance, but kind of see how much they're willing to work for it. So a couple things I like to do. I like to first off say, how about hosting a party with me? And if you have a $500 party, I'll give you $50 in cash to join. I love that one because it helps me with my party sales. It also helps them to do some work. And lots of times, for some reason, those people they don't necessarily, have the resources to get a in-house party together, especially because they usually want to join right then or a week from then or whatever, but they just don't have the funds. So I find, let's do an online party really quick, a catalog party. Send me $500 in orders and you'll get that $50. And so that's really fun. And I've had people not even get to the 500, but by the end, they're like, I'm just going to join. I borrowed the money from somebody, and they've seen their potential and they've seen how good they are at talking about the business, and they have empowered themselves essentially. Another thing I like to do is do a letter writing contest. So I've done this literally at the end of the month when I'm almost at 2 recruits salute, and I really want to do 2 recruits salute, and I've worked with a bunch of people, but no one's quite ready to seal the deal. I remember doing this one October, and it was Halloween. I got somebody to sign up the end of the month that day. So write a letter contest. And I love this one because you hand select the winner of it. So people in their hearts and their dreams and basically their why story, they're already starting to work on. Why do they want to be a goddess or an Adonis? And you can sort through the letters and you can say, you are the letter winner, you get $30 to start your business. But you also get to see how invested they are, which I think is really, really important. And there are some really touching letters that I've received about how Athenas can help them. It really is a really neat challenge. The other thing I like to do is like a booking incentive. So if you book 5 parties or 10 parties by X amount of time, then I'm going to pay for your starter kit as well. So that's a really fun one because once they join, they already have these 5 or 10 parties all set up. So, and I only do that once in a while. Like, I don't want you to think that, you know, I'm paying for people's kits, but I do think it's okay occasionally to do an incentive like this and see them bust their humps and get ready and build their business already planting seeds before they've even started. So anyways, those are some things that I do, but you'll always have the few that are not ready to seal the deal. And you have to once again remember it's about them and when they're ready. That's key. So just keep checking in with them too.
All right. So we've got checking in. That's a big one. Checking in, and also having people work for their kit, for help to purchase their kit. So now you're getting go-getters. So if someone is going to bring you $500 in orders or $300 in orders and then join, I mean, they're go-getters. They're willing to work for what they want. They're willing to go the extra mile. So you're recruiting people that are doers, which is what we all want, right? We don't want to recruit more people who say that, who are getting ready to get ready to get ready to get ready, who never sell a thing. I mean, so how smart that you found ways to incentivize people. That's awesome. And by following up, I mean, I know there's many stories of goddesses who, you know, were asked 10 times over a period of 8 years to join Athena's, and then they finally did and found, you know, huge success. So it's really important to continue following up, because if you don't, and then 3 years down the line, someone else happens to be in the right place at the right time, you know, that person was your lead, but do they still belong to you if you haven't bothered with them for 3 years? Questionable. So yeah, those tips are great. I love that you have a letter writing campaign. That is really beautiful too, because then you have people who really want it, who took the time to write a letter about why they want it. So it's great that it's so much better than just going, yeah, I'm going to buy your kit. You know, I mean, you're recruiting people that want it, and you're recruiting people that are go-getters. Smart. Because that's what we want on our team, people who want it and people that are go-getters. So you mentioned using Facebook as a recruiting tool to me. I know that you have a special page, you know, that you have for people that are interested in the business opportunity. Can you share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So I have a thinking about joining Facebook group. And actually started this right when I started recruiting, and it's really built since then. It's basically a place that I have set up for anyone that's interested in joining. So if I talk to you in the order room and you are thinking about it, but you're not real sure, I say to them, may I add you to my thinking about joining Facebook group? And they're like, yeah. So it's great. So I go home, put them in that group, and I post from time to time. I try not to be too overwhelming. But just, you know, I have people ask questions if they have questions, because quite often other people have the same questions. I post incentives. I post about, you know, different trips that are being offered. And it's just a common ground place for people to just hear the latest on that. And what's really cool is that a lot of people on that group have since joined. So I also have many active goddesses and Adoni on there. So every once in a while I'll have people post like their why story or an image of themselves or something like that. I haven't done that in a while. I probably should, but it's just a great place to have them kind of still hanging on. if they, are ready. The other thing too, it is a, I forgot. I totally lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
Your VIP group, you have that too?
Yes, I have that too. I'm sorry, real quick. So back to the thinking about joining groups. So once in a while when I am like really pushing myself to beat Olivia or Chrissy or somebody out there who is on fire, I go through my members. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't talked to this person in a while. And I send them a message and I send the next person a message. And it's great because it like rekindles that connection that I haven't, talked to them for a while. So yeah, the VIP page is another great place. So I do the same thing. May I add you to my VIP group? And then those are people that just love Athenas and love, me as their goddess, and they want to hear deals and stuff like that. But I found that those people are also thinking about joining. They are the people that love us. So that's another great place to just stay connected and keep it on a personal level. I post things there that I don't post on my personal page. I try to keep my personal page professional, and I like to be real with them and post more than I would on the regular Facebook page. And then the other thing that I did just recently, I have been thinking about doing it for a very long time. And June, I was really, really hoping for Top Recruiter because I wanted to go to New York City with you guys. I went live on my profile page and with a purpose of recruiting and being real with everybody, but trying to reach outside of just my VIP group or just the thinking about joining group, because there are some people that fall through the cracks that don't necessarily get added to those groups. Mm-hmm. So I did that and went live with a glass of wine talking about what it's like to be a mom and putting the kids to bed. And thank goodness that I have Athenas in my life so that I can be a stay-at-home mom. And that night, June, literally by the strike of midnight, I had 3 more join right then from that video, putting me at 9. So it works. People want to hear from us, and I don't know why I was being so shy about doing that, because people on our profile page, they're friends of ours. They're connections that we need to stay in touch with.
Sarah, what I love about you is that you use multiple methods for recruiting. So you have like live face-to-face meetings with people who are interested. You love to do coffee, and you utilize social media. You have your joining group, but yet you send personal messages. So why do you think that it's important to do all of that rather than just one thing? I know there's some people like, oh, I would never do live meetings with people. I only recruit online. And there's people like, oh, I would never recruit online. I only want to do live meetings. So why do you think it's important to do both rather than just one or the other?
I think both is so, so important because people have different preferences as to how they communicate. That's one of the things I keep hearing from the calls that you've done, Jen. And I think it's really important to make sure that you're reaching somebody no matter what their preference is. So I use Facebook as like a touch base every so often, connect with them, but I absolutely love getting together for coffee with my recruit leads. Little Alex Lynch was a home office party lead. And in talking with her, I'm like, we need to get together and have coffee. And so we did, even before her party. And she joined. And look at her now. I think the coffee date piece of it, so you already kind of know them by going back and forth, talking on Facebook or by text messaging. But when you get together and have coffee face to face, they can see you and your joy and your excitement. And I feel the goosebumps and I tell them about the goosebumps. And I just feel like that goes so much farther. You can see their body language and you can respond to that. You can really help them to listen and visualize their success too. I just think that personal piece is so, so important. And it's so important that you ask the question first, have you ever thought about becoming a goddess? Or Adonis? Because if you don't ask that, Jen, like you said, I feel like you're doing them a huge disservice.
Yeah. And it works. It works to ask, Sarah. I remember years ago, there was a goddess, Kelly Quimby, who had a great team, and she got a phone call from a recruit lead, not even a recruit lead, just someone who wanted to buy more shave cream. And she got the balls to say to that person, hey, it was Katrina Vidal, to say, hey, you should just join, and then you can get it at a discount. And she went, okay, like, can you imagine, like, if she had never asked that question, if Kelly had never asked the question, Katrina would never have said yes and joined Athena's and paid for her wedding, and then inspired Talia for Backyard for Our Boy, who inspired Alex Lynch to go for CatCon. Like, there's a ripple effect, that you can create by just making the decision to do it, to recruit, to have the guts, to have the courage to ask. Yeah. So let me ask you this. What has been your most rewarding moment as a leader so far?
Oh my goodness. So there are so many to even mention. Being a leader is just an incredible, incredible thing because it just expands your Athena's experience so much more than just your own client base. So just to name a few, the first time Alex Lynch was in the top 10 for New Goddesses, and she was number 3. Like crazy.
Judge Judy, she was so cute.
Literally met at Subway. We had coffee there. And then look at her later on that year. Like, such a proud mommy moment, that's for sure. And Scott Turgeon last year was up there in top 10. Like, that was incredible. And same with him. I remember being on the phone and I asked that question. It was a party lead. Literally, a friend connected us and boom, I asked the question. Because I could just hear it in his voice. He'd be perfect for it. Oh my goodness, there are so more. I remember our first BBW where we had chairs we needed to reserve. And that was the meeting that I beat Chrissy Shedd and she bowed down to me. And we have that picture. It's actually on my iPad. For Top Recruiter. And I remember I took a picture of all the empty seats with all the garland around it because there were 10 seats for a lineage. Like, crazy, because a year prior I had gone by myself to a BBW and all of a sudden the lineage is growing. Oh my gosh, first time we were ever the top 10, that was last September. That was crazy. And now all the time, it's still, every time they're in the top 10, it's just a very proud moment. Sarah Monroe finally becoming a team leader. She was actually a roll-up. So from the second I met her, she was like on fire, literally did her pillars of leadership, like boom, as soon as I met her. And I guarantee she's had her team name already since then. She's just been ready. She is a natural born leader and now she's a team leader herself. It's just, I couldn't be prouder. There's so many moments. So many moments.
So I'm sure that you have a message for the new Goddesses and Adoni that are watching. What do you have to say to them about recruiting?
I would say absolutely don't be shy and ask the question, have you thought about becoming a goddess or Adonis? Get used to saying that. Practice it. Look in the mirror. Because that question is so powerful and it shouldn't be scary. Get used to saying it. Because just like you said, Jen, you are doing them a disservice to not ask them. If the answer is no, great, right? But the answer is always no if we don't ask it. We've learned that too in our previous calls. So ask. Reach out to people, check in with them, see if maybe the time wasn't when you met them, but maybe it is now. Follow them on Facebook, not in this creepy stalker type of way, but if they're posting, I need work, help me, send them a message because you've already met them. You've already, stayed in touch with them, been in their lives, and now say, I can help you. Athena's is my full-time job or Athena's is my part-time job, whatever it may be, but that is the way that you can help them. Just pay attention to those posts, but don't be afraid to ask because you seriously are doing them a disservice by not asking.
Ask. I love it because there's that rule SW, which means some will, some won't. So what? Someone is waiting. So I know, isn't that great? I learned that from Jack Canfield. So what's your message to our veteran recruiters who are listening and watching who may have fallen out of love with the idea of recruiting?
Veterans, I'm going to lecture you for a minute here. Keep asking, keep doing it. Here's why. You may have times in your life where you need to take a step back, or like Golden Circle, Jen, when we talked about the geese and the leader needs to step back. That's okay. You can't be on all the time, right? This business is ups and downs. It's the same with being a team leader. But keep asking, keep adding more blood, more fresh perspective to your team. That's so, so important. I had a team leader recently who will remain nameless, but who was struggling with motivating her team. And I challenged her to recruit 2 by the end of the month, and she did it. But I want to keep her nameless because she has a team that she's working with. But she struggled because she really wanted to see them succeed. But sometimes if you add more fresh perspective and some just new excitement, I'm literally seeing it also spread to her team members, and they're more excited now. So I think that is really, really, really important to just keep recruiting, keep asking the question. And even say you're burnt out, or you're feeling like you're going through something emotionally or personal that you can't be on all the time, your team members can also help to guide them. They can help mentor them. Do a buddy challenge. So buddy up a veteran and a newbie and help them learn the ropes, so to speak. There's lots of things you can do, but veteran leaders should continue to keep recruiting for that reason. I firmly, firmly believe that.
You know, when I was writing your script for Golden Circle, I named you the Bluebird. And when I was reading about this study that was done on bluebirds and how they're one of the only types of birds where the children help feed the next set of babies, and it's like helping. And I see that in your team. I see that so clearly. You have developed this culture where you've built leaders within your organization who are like totally there for each other. So congratulations to you on what you've built and how you've built it.
Thank you, Jen.
Well, our second code word is the, T-H-E. The second code word is the. And it's time for us to wrap up the call. So thank you, Sarah, for this. I've loved spending time with you on this webinar, like I love taking time with you anytime we're together. Thank you for talking about why sharing the Athena's opportunity is important to you. So I'm going to ask our audience, our warriors, how they're feeling. And if you aren't a feeler, what do you think about what you've heard from Sarah, what you've learned from Sarah? This week, I challenge you to go to the Warriors United Facebook page and share with us. Make a brief video where you share your aha moment. And if you have a recruiting goal for the last 4 months of the year, and I certainly hope you do, please share it in your video. If you do my midnight on Friday, September 21st at 11:59 p.m., you'll be eligible to win a Womanizer Inside Out. I challenge you to make these videos so you can win something fun, yes, but more so our presenters appreciate the feedback. They love watching the videos after the fact to see what you took away. Your Athena's family also loves hearing from you. A united goal. I mean, we were united on the first webinar that we did that Talia presented. I mean, the comments, the videos were phenomenal. I loved watching people liking other people's videos, commenting under other people's videos. That's a united, goal-oriented group who are moving forward and focused on accomplishing so much more than we would if we were just one. We're an unstoppable force, and you bring your energy, you share your good vibes. It's what makes Athena's what it is. And the same goes for your parties and the relationships that you built with your clients. The energy you bring makes all the difference. There are people waiting for what you have to offer, people just like Sarah Miller who are searching for a way to make money and friends. And Athena's has that and so much more. So I'm not going to explain how code words work. I'm sure you can find that info in the blast email that you got today and that contain this link to this webinar. So Sarah, any final words that you have for our warriors?
Recruit. Just give your heart and it will come back to you. because people need us. They absolutely need us.
They do. So the final code word, warriors, is gift, GIFT. And I'll see you next Wednesday for another chance to learn and connect. Kim Boulay has much to teach you. She loves social media, and she wants to talk about how Goddesses and Adoni can navigate through social media. And until then, be on the lookout for lives you can change for the better. There's lots of Sarah Millers out there. I'll see you next week, everyone. And thank you, Sarah. Bye.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye, guys.